it's not. There we go, let's try that again. Oh, it's because I put the expander on there. There you go, that's what I get for being a little bit extra. Let's turn that off. Test. A little bit better, sure. Okay. Hi. Welcome. Wait, oh, why am I still on the starting screen? Let's do this, right, like here instead. Hi. As you can see, I'm still recovering from the convention. Hope you guys are well. And yeah, it's been an interesting 48 hours for me. 48 hours, 24 hours. I have lost track of time either way. Just to start a little soft, I guess, with just with today. If you to the boyos that ordered the merch package for New Skies, it finally shipped today because I finally figured out how tariffs work. That was a hot mess. But yeah, you guys should have gotten your tracking numbers from Coffee and everything, so be sure to check that. And if you have any questions, you know where to find me. You can ask. Where should we begin? You know what, let's just jump straight into it then. If you can't tell by my energy levels already, the weekend has been a very... It's been bittersweet. It's been a very bittersweet weekend for me. So let's start with the good stuff, right? Always start with the good stuff. Day 0, I didn't plan on going for day 0, but the original plan was to ship out the merch packages before the convention so that it would go out before the weekend. It turns out that like Trains was also picking up his pass that day. I'm just like, well, I might as well. Since a friend is coming down, I might as well. So I went in, I basically I met up with him, and then we both picked up our passes, got the accessibility sticker and everything. We're good to go. And then after that, we were just like, okay, we can just like chill now. And I was actually, I have to figure out the whole merch situation. And he's like, okay, let's do that then. Took forever to find a Canada Post that's actually wheelchair accessible. That's crazy. There's like one that's kind of accessible in my area, but it was too out of the way from the convention, so it didn't make sense to go back there. And the ones along, there were like a few others like further down, but that were more in between, but those were definitely not accessible. So after we had like lunch and whatnot, because we were both just like, yeah, we forgot to eat. We did manage to find one in within the path basically, but like getting down to that location too was also really annoying because we didn't really understand how the elevators in that area worked. If you know, you know. But we did manage to get down close to when the office is about to close, and when I told the post office clerk, who's also the manager, I think, that or at least the supervisor, I'd like to send packages to the States. He was like, okay, you have to fill out the customs sheet, and then you also need to pay for tariffs through like an app. I was like, oh, I've done customs paperwork before for my dad, back when like my parents used to run an art supplies store, and like this is before smartphones were really a thing, so I used to have to do it on like those blue screen computers on location at the customs office. So I remember how long those took. I was like, so what you're saying is I should probably come back another time when I've already like filled out the paperwork. He's like, I would highly recommend that, yes. So yeah, so that's what happened. Hi Nessie, I was talking about the package situation with the tariffs. Anyway, yeah, hello, how are you? I hope you're well. Welcome, welcome. I was just talking about day zero mostly, where like Trains and I were just trying to figure out where we could find an accessible Canada Post. We did manage to find one, but it was like close to closing time. And also, yeah, I didn't realize tariff paperwork is separate from customs paperwork, and you need to do both now when Canadians send things to the States. So yeah, that's what I did this morning. I had to do it. I was like, well, I was gonna send it out before the con, but I guess I have to send it out after the con now. So yeah, they're on their way. You should have gotten your tracking number. Even today, this morning, when I went to I actually went to like the Canada Post that's closer to my location, and like that one's run by a Korean couple. So because I'm also Korean, like we just ended up chatting in Korean, and she was like, "You did all the tariff paperwork and everything." Yuma-chan, hello! Aren't you hibernating? Hello. I hope you're resting well. Otsukare. Otsukare. Oh, if you were there to see you, I can't wait until the live footage goes up, especially for snow halation, because I missed snow halation. I was looking forward to it, but then like halfway through everlasting snow, my condition just decided to plummet out. It's like, I'm live. Oh yeah. I guess it is pretty rare, huh? It's okay. It'll be a little more frequent anyway. Thank you for swinging by. Thank you for swinging by. What's again? Otsumemi. Yeah, and I was talking about tariffs and customs, and yeah, sending things to the States is very amusing. Very amusing and time consuming. Now, I think I spent something like an hour just trying to figure out how the paperwork worked, and then like also like actually filling out the paperwork just for like two packages. Don't worry. I started post all of my performance backlogs during hibernation. Smart. That's very smart. Yeah, that's smart. You got it. The tariffs. Yeah, the tariffs are insane. I got really lucky because it turns out anything that's like paper based, they don't charge tariffs for, but the pin badges got charged. So thankfully it wasn't that high, but like the post office lady was still shocked. She was just like, you still had to pay for tariffs? I was like, yeah, it's just for the pins though, like nothing else. And she's like, how amusing, isn't it? I was like, it's a little I don't know how to translate. I said 조금 치사하죠, which is like, how do you translate 치사하게? It's like a little it's a little outrageous, isn't it? Or it's a little petty, isn't it? I guess petty is the right word. It's like it's a little petty, isn't it? And she chuckled at it. But yeah, she helped me fill out the paperwork and everything. But she also explained it's like we were also just trying to figure out with the other customers how this works at the same time, because it was constantly changing, and even now it's constantly changing. So I'm just like, yo, I got lucky. I got really lucky with the merch packages. But yeah, so anyway, there's that. So yeah, thankfully Trains didn't have to be there for that. He just had to be there like running around downtown trying to figure out an accessible Canada Post instead. So props to him. Onto, I guess, actual AniRevo chat. Yeah, because that was day zero. That wasn't even about the convention. Day zero was really smooth. Like Toronto doesn't really have a huge day zero culture with downtown conventions. They're mostly like Saturday, like day 1 or day 2. Whereas in Vancouver, everyone goes to day zero. So like in Vancouver for AniRevo, like it's really common to see a lineup just go around the entire waterfront. And like I remember having had to wait in line for hours when I was like in Vancouver. But then I was panicking, and I come down, and then like Trains is like, oh, I already got my pass. I'm just like, what do you mean you already got your pass? He's like, there's no lineup. I'm just like, what? So yeah, I also got my pass really quickly. But I guess also because like AniRevo is still pretty small in Toronto compared to Vancouver. Aki, hello! Welcome. Otsukare. Welcome. Yeah, I'm just talking about things. Anyway, welcome to the chat. Hope you're well. Otsukare to you as well. Uh, yeah, I. Sorry, I lost. My brain is a little. Yeah, first time content line was non-existent. I thought maybe like we would expect like a little bit like Anime Toronto numbers maybe, but I think it was a little bit less than Anime Toronto as well. So yeah, it was very interesting. I think it was also because it was during November, whereas previous times it was during June. So that was crazy. So yeah, day 0 went off with a hitch. It was just mostly like spending time with a friend. And also trying to figure out how to send the merch packages to the people who ordered them. So by the way, Nessie and Chisaku, and also to folks in Canada as well who ordered the New Skies merch package, thank you so much again. I really appreciate the support. So that was day 0. Day 1, okay, yeah, so day 1 I didn't attend. Any Toronto was beginning of September, so right before school starting. Oh right, that's true. That one was also delayed. I totally forgot. Yeah, I guess there's the more because like June is such a high competition month. Everything happens in June and May. May and June are like the busiest times because you have Anime North in May, and then it's YetiCon right after that. And it's like everyone's going to Blue Mountain. Like no one's gonna stay downtown in June, unless you're like me. But that's because I live downtown, so that probably is why it works out. But yeah, like they moved it to even later now, which was November, and I think I think they just wrapped up midterms or something like that. So students, my condolences. Orbit, one of the dancers for Wonder Street for the JFCA crew, there's also a student, and I don't know how they have so much energy to do both studies and that amount of cosplaying and performance. It's crazy, and I think Nadia was also very busy as well. So yeah. AniRevo posted guest pretty late, so there's that too. Right, there's that too. So here's the thing: AniRevo was originally from Vancouver, and they've been a Vancouver convention for, oh my gosh, I want to say since 20. Did I debut with them? I think so. It was 2013. 2013 was their first year. Was also the first year that I entered the idol competition and I won. Haha. But yeah, no, because their convention is in August, they always prioritize the Vancouver convention first because obviously like that's home base for them. But also it's just like there's a Toronto based team in AniRevo, and then there's the OG Vancouver team. And the Vancouver team is the one that like got me into the convention. But actually no, I think for guest relations as well, it's also a Vancouver person. So that's Yuma-chan and I were like low-key panicking. We're just like, because Yuma-chan is like, yeah, so like I was talking to someone and then things started slowing down. I'm just like, oh, this sounds familiar. So I was just like, okay, I'll go straight to the head honcho because I know the head honcho because it's Jeremy. He's my senpai. I was like, Jeremy, by the way, like how are things going with you, Mimi? And he's like, I'll take care. I'll get in touch with the person who's in charge of that. Don't worry. And then everything was clear after that. But yeah, it's always a little chaotic for them because they have to transition from doing the Vancouver convention, which is like their flagship. This is how they make their money. It's how they have been making their money for oh gosh, it's been 12 years now. I think they've been running. So for 12 years, that's been like Vancouver home base has been their moneymaker. You reached in March. That's right. It was like so long ago. It was like before Anime North even. And somehow Anime North. Well, I guess you're part of technically part of Anime North now, so that's a little bit easier to do. But yeah, no, it was a long time because March would have been around the time when they would have been preparing for the Vancouver location one. And then when I messaged August, September, then it was silence until October. At that point, I panicked. Oh yeah. That I'm just like, yo, guys, like, come on. Come on, guys. It's been like 12 years. Well, at least with Toronto, it's at least been like 3 or 4. You guys have had time to figure this out. Come on. But also, I'm a little bit biased because I'm originally from Vancouver, so I know what the mindset's like there. So I'm just like, yeah, it's very like in the moment you panic and you kind of have tunnel vision while you're there. And then you need to be reminded again of like what was next in queue. it's not a habit from that city that I'm particularly proud of, but I understand. I'm kind of used to this. Yuma-chan, I don't know if that's a good thing to be used to. But well, actually, yeah, that makes sense. Like, unless you're, because I think the reason why is because like the big name guests, their managers are always like harassing the event staff, and also like there's like contracts need to be signed, and there's like a billion meetings just for one appearance. It's wild. Whereas like indie folks like us, and like even for Yuma-chan, like I can imagine like they're still being like, okay, we gotta get through the thing first. Every other con has been good though, just this one, oh, that's not. Oh. I apologize on behalf of my hometown, Yuma-chan. I'm so sorry. Jeremy couldn't pass. Yeah, because Jeremy is too used to doing everything on his own, but then he also got sick. He got really sick. Like, it took him a long time to contact me too. And like technically I have a special pass with them, but even contacting me took a long time because he was out of commission. And okay, here's the thing about Mo Senpai that I unfortunately also learned while I was in Vancouver. Those who are really good at their jobs are really bad at delegating. Me and my senpai are no exceptions. So it's one of those, like, Jeremy's one of those people where like if he's down for the count, it becomes really obvious that there's someone missing. And I think this was an example of that. So yeah, it was really unfortunate, I agree. But you still managed to do your show. It was great. I enjoyed watching you so much. I do this thing where if I really enjoy concerts, I'll like close my eyes and then I'll just start like swaying and headbanging to the music. And I was doing that a lot, to the point I think like no, I didn't have my horns at the time, thank goodness, because otherwise they would have definitely fallen off. But like it was so nice to like actually see you performing on stage after a long time too, and like it was a very different energy than the Anime Toronto show. And I was very proud and happy watching you, and I'm just like, wow, look at her go, hi. So yeah, and then I was like halfway through Everlasting Snow, I was like, no, I'm almost at Snow Halation. Why, body, why are you failing on me now? Confession. And I'll get into the actual like what was like backstage and whatnot shortly, but by the time I think it was near the end of Yumemi's concert, I had not eaten properly for I think 72 hours, just because I was so anxious and stressed out that like I just couldn't put food down. So like I'm just like, wow, you couldn't hold out for like 5 more minutes, my dude. Five more minutes, that's all I was asking for. I wanted to see Snow Halation. So yeah, no, it's okay. I made my own bed and I had to lay in it. That's all I can say. I'll talk more about like the anxiety and whatnot later, but like let's talk about the good stuff first, the fun stuff. So yeah, please take care of yourself. I will. Thank you, Yuko-chan. I'm trying. I did improve. I think I did a better job taking care of myself this time than JFCA. JFCA was... It is both a miracle and like very, very huge thanks to you, Lori, and the dancers that I managed to survive that show, and Andrew as well, obviously. But like, yeah, it's... This time around, it's an improvement, but yeah, don't worry, I'll improve. Thank you for coming to perform for all of us despite the struggles, of course. I love performing. That's the thing. I love performing. It's just adjusting to performing after having to use a wheelchair since earlier this year has been like the hardest adjustment, I think, because for those who may not know, and I think a lot of people will not know because they might not even recognize me in the chair, I did not usually have a wheelchair. I didn't start using this until I think August of this year, and so I'm still learning things as I go. We'll get to that in a bit, but for now, like fun stuff. I already talked about like Mimi's concert. It was great. I had so much fun watching. It was such a great show, and girl, every time I hear you and see you, you improve again and again. You never fail to fascinate me. And I'm just like, oh, I gotta hustle too. So it was really inspiring for me too. I was like, yeah, I needed this. I needed the energy. I needed the energy to just like the good vibes. For my own concert, which was before Yumemi's, I got to yeah, be proud of yourself. I got to work directly with Timbit Crumbs this time, because I think the last time for JFC I didn't get to work with Timbit Crumbs directly, unfortunately, because just of time constraints and the low priority that Anime North Live had during that show. It's okay. There were a lot of Japanese guests. It's understandable. Kai Daj was not happy about it either, but he's just like, I trust your professionalism. You got this. I was like, oh, okay. Okay. Thank you, senpai. But yeah, that turned out fine. No one could really hear me, but that's okay. Everyone could hear Yumemi and everyone could see the dancers. That was more than enough. For this time around though, because it's my own concert, I had time to actually like talk about audio and with them. Fortunately, this weekend was the weekend where everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong. Like, it was Murphy's Law incarnate. Hi, Itsuki! How yous? Welcome. Just talking about day 2? Yeah, day 2, because I wasn't there day 1. Day 2 is my day 1, because day 1 was me spending like home being like, I need to fight my demons and also get everything done for the show. You're good, finished dinner? Yay. Nice. I had dinner before stream too, but I'll probably have to have dinner again later too. Yeah. Anyway, it's great working with him. And then Ben was also very great too. I forgot his name. There was one more person from AniRevo stuff that I recognized also on the AniRevo team, and he was also helping me get on and off stage. I'm the person where I need to see names written down. If you tell me your name verbally, I'm not gonna remember it. I have to see it written down. And he didn't have his name tag, and I'm just like, shoot, I don't see a name I can identify. Like, yeah, he has glasses, like, he has a very specific aura about him, I just remember. But like, I remember like he was like, I think he was panicking the most when I had to get on and off stage, because the other thing, the stage was not accessible, and I was warned about this in advance. Jeremy was disappointed. He was just like, I thought, because it's the convention center, it would be accessible, but they had no ramp. No, not C-Line. I know who C-Line is. I'm talking specifically from AniMeeple. He's a little bit lanky, and I don't know. I just remember his voice. He usually wears a ponytail and glasses, but like the way he carries his voice is very like, there's a lot of presence. That's what I remember. Anyway, AV backstage team, or HT, I would not know, fam. I'd not know. I would need to compare it with the photo. You'll have to tell me later. But anyway, they were all great. They were all very supportive. Okay, since you're both saying HT, I'm gonna assume it's HT. If it is HT, then yes, I believe so. Yeah. He was walking around a lot. I think so. I think that is the person. Yeah. That sounds about right. I think it is HT. Thank you. I know his name now. Oh gosh. 95% of events nowadays in my like 30s with the fibro fog is just me being like, oh no, I'm getting to that stage where remembering names is hard. I have to see it written down. So like, I have to start getting to the habit of like carrying around a notepad and pen, being like, please write your name out for me so that I can visually associate the curvature of the letters with your face. So yeah, I'll assume it's HT then. HT, thank you so much for your help too. So yeah, the three of them were very, very helpful backstage. Also they were very supportive of helping me get on and off, getting my wheelchair on and off as well. They really made the best of not the greatest situation, because that stage too, the stage in the vendors hall was higher than the main stage. The main stage I didn't have that much issue with. I'm just like, oh, this much is fine. Like I've been up on this before. This is okay. But the one in the vendors hall, the purple stage was, I think, twice or three times as tall. So I was just like, oh, okay. The one day I decided not to bring my cane with me, which, by the way, day 3 spoiler alert, I would still come to regret bringing my cane with me because it did not work out well. But anyway, that's AV team. Wonderful, great anime Polo Sasuga, as always. Wonderful. My friends were able to come out and support, including those that I'm a little more distant with now, but they happen to be there, and I'm just like, you know, like I'm glad that they were still supportive from a distance. I also recognize that I have changed a lot since I last kind of parted ways with them, so I'm just like, it'd be nice if I could reconcile a little bit, but it is what it is. Yes, we love anime, pal. Mark with the big sword. True. That was good. Despite my stresses and anxieties and imposter syndrome and whatnot, I still did manage to get a lot more practice in than I had been able to in the previous months, which is a sign. It's a good sign. It means I'm recovering, because preparing for JFCA was so hard for me personally, because the pelvic tension was so bad that like I couldn't even sing, like, because my diaphragm was tightening up. I couldn't control my diaphragm because everything was just always tight and I couldn't loosen it. But thankfully it's getting to a point now where I'm recovering, so like the body is slowly learning to be like, oh, I don't need to hold this in anymore, I don't need to like be so tight about this anymore. So I still managed to get a significant amount of practice in to memorize most of my lyrics. I'm always very thankful when people recognize my trans lyrics for Project Sekai songs, especially. ID Smile was like the one that I did not want to mess up no matter what. Neo was also another one that I didn't want to mess up no matter what. But they were also the hardest to memorize, because there was so much, with Neo especially, there's nothing is the same until the very end. And so there's just way more pieces to memorize. Same with Pulse of the Comet, which I sang for day 3 with the judges showcase for Vocal Masters. That one I also wanted to get right, but like if people know the cover, they'll know I messed up my own lyrics. Thankfully, it was in a way that I don't think anybody noticed too much. But yeah, I definitely would have liked to have done it better. I would have liked to have spent more time practicing. But I memorized most of my lyrics. Speaking of English covers from Project Sekai, oh yeah, ID Smile first. To the very adorable Mizuki cosplayer in the back who just swung by just for the ID Smile song. Thank you so much. Also, your cosplay was so good. Thank you. Also, thank you for taking me on Instagram Reels too. I really appreciate it. Okay, there was that. And then the others... So there were 2 songs that I previewed at the concert that will be uploads in December. One upload will be later this week and another one will be, I think, next week. So the first one which is coming up this week, is Engeki, or Theater. I did an English cover of that. I didn't expect to, but I bawled my eyes out on stage, and the crowd was very nice. They cheered me on still, but I was still embarrassed, because even like the whole point of me having the phone in front of me for that one song, I even explained to the crowd that I'm gonna do the one faux pas that my senpai has taught me not to do, and it's to look at my lyrics on stage while I perform, because I wrote these lyrics literally earlier this week. I have not had time to learn them. And it's a Nano song. It's a Nano P song. And Nano P really likes to cram in words into the verses. So I knew I wasn't gonna learn it in time. And even when I was looking at my screen, I still struggled. Hi, C. How are you? otsukare with work you too, by the way. I know my friends were working. They were working IRL today. So, otsukare you too. Otsukare to Nesito. Otsukare to everybody who was working. You did great today. And otsukare to those who are resting from AniRevo as well. You did great today. Right, what's I saying? Right, I love the chat box. Thank you. It's called Biscuit because they look like tea biscuits. I was like, yeah, I like this one. One day I'll have a full tea party style thing. I wonder how I can do that in a Korean way. I'll figure it out. Yeah, so while singing, I think it was like halfway through singing theater or engeki, I'm looking at the lyrics on my screen and the words would not come out of my mouth. And I'm just like, oh, what is this? This didn't happen during practice. This didn't happen during practice at all. I wasn't anticipating that of all things to happen. I thought maybe like, oh, I might not be able to hit that note, or I might have to belt this note instead of going into falsetto. Like, that's what I was expecting. I didn't expect to choke on my own words. And the parts, it was, I think, it was the entire second verse, or like the second half, the second half of the second verse, and then the second pre-chorus were the ones that just like messed me up. And I realized, oh, in that moment, it's like, if I want to continue making a noise into the microphone, I just have to let it go. So I bawled my eyes out on stage. Surprise. I think the practice helped in at least maintaining some semblance of melody of my melody. So we finished the song. Yay, we finished the song. That's what mattered. We finished the song. And the crowd was, y'all were really, really sweet. Thank you so much again for just being supportive. The reason why that song hit me so hard is because I'm the reason why I am recovering and the reason why I'm experiencing imposter syndrome right now is due to having had experiences that really similar to Mafuyu's, to put it as vaguely as possible without getting too personal. I grew up feeling like Mafuyu a lot, where I had to pretend to be someone I wasn't, and that song is literally about coming to the realization of, oh, this wasn't right. I shouldn't have been living like that. I should have been true to myself no matter what my loved ones say, because I know myself better than anyone else. And so writing the lyrics was also really, really challenging emotionally, just because it made my body go like, oh no, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do that. No, that's hard. That's painful. That's owie. No, I'm just like, but we have to. So it ended up being done. But I remember, like, Trains is not just my editor, but he's also my moral support, because we're each other's, like, we check each other's work basically. And so I was just like, Trains, you need to, like, can you just kick my butt a little bit for me, please? He's like, you better work on that or else. It's basically like the tone, like, he's just like trying to be like, you can do it, and I can do it. And the tone I could sense was just like, if you don't do it, then I'm gonna be very disappointed in you. So I was like, I don't want that. So I managed to do it. And so that got done. But then, yeah, I think the ultimate release with the song came from the live performance. So again, thank you so much for being there for it. Gosh, where am I going with this? Right, that was the first preview. The second preview was actually at the beginning of the concert. I wrote a song called Standing Frozen to promote Star Rail Tarot for Brother Ming Games earlier this year. The thing is, like, at the time, I thought for some reason in that moment that I was a better lyricist in high school than I am now. So I tried to write as if I was my high school self, because I thought that genuinely was like the best version of the song I could give. Well, in hindsight, I realized, like, I feel like that was just one, toxic nostalgia, which is really ironic because that entire song is about toxic nostalgia, and two, I definitely could write better now. So, as a way to make up for it and also continue promoting the deck, because I do love this deck so much, and I am still very proud of that music video. I rewrote Standing Frozen, where I think 90% of the song was rewritten in a day. Like that's how you know like it was meant to happen. You only need a day to like rewrite everything. So I'm calling it the revisited version of Standing Frozen. So I got to preview that at the show as well. I am glad lately, just because of the imposter syndrome and whatnot, I've actually been singing with my eyes closed, because I noticed that as soon as I open my eyes and I see the audience, I forget everything blanks out. I forget all my lyrics. I forget how to hold a pitch. I forget my confidence, etc., etc. So I'm just gonna close my eyes. I'm only gonna focus on the song. I'm just gonna live in the song. That's all I'm gonna do. So I did that, but every once in a while I'll still open my eyes just to take a look at the audience real quick. And I was very glad to see that people were paying attention to the music video. That was the first time Trains worked on a visual work with me, I think, officially. Yes, because I was just like, hey friends, which one of you are available for like 2 days to help me film a music video? And I was like, I will pay with lunch. And Trains was like, I'm down for free lunch. So like he helped me with that, but he ended up being like pretty valuable as a creative perspective too. So yeah. Gosh, where am I going? What am I going to? Right. Okay, so people are watching the music video, and that music video is still very personal to me because those were actual ratings I did for myself between October of 2024 and I believe January or February of 2025. Yes, we're 2025 now. Whoa, that's crazy. So yeah, that is a very personal music video for me, so I'm glad people were enjoying it. I hope the song rewrite can match the video a lot better now than it did before. I'm still using Rinhime's arrangement for the vocal parts. It's just that now they're being a little bit adjusted to match the new top line. But I specifically wrote the new top line, to match Rinhime's vocal arrangements. So it should still sound like the vibe should still be the same. It's what I'm saying, yeah. So thank you for the good reception for that song as well. You love both music and the video? Yay! Thank you. Also, just Yumemi and Pam, or Obake Pam, were my guests for the concert. You two were so amazing. I forgot it was my concert. I was too busy. I was too engrossed. I'm just like, oh, my friends are so talented. I love it here. Yumu-chan saying Brave Shine. I loved it. It just made me blush backstage. It's just like, if I think of senpai, then I think of bravery. I'm just like, oh, thank you. Yeah, and the duet, yeah. Oh yeah, thank you. I was so worried. I'm just like, I don't know how this is gonna do. Anyway, yeah. Pam and I sang Deep Resonance from Love Live, cause A, it's a song I've been wanting to sing live for a long time, and B, it's a song that I knew would be the closest like middle ground for my genres and Pam's genres, cause Pam sings very like epic, orchestral, ephemeral songs, or hardcore jazz, which is the song that she ended up choosing for her solo. She sang Goodbye from Reverse 1999. Oh wow, I've known Pam since pre-debut days. I knew she was good, but that's like a whole other level of good. I'm just like, girl, I'm so proud of you. Anyway, and she was like, thank you for inviting me. And I was like, oh, thank you for accepting my invite. And I heard from Pam that like somebody had messaged, or somebody had sent a footage of her performance to her after the show too, which means like, oh, there were Pamploys in the office and in the audience too. I'm just like, okay, yes, that worked out. Anyway, I say thank you. I also finally got to sing Night Train live with you. it took us almost an entire year to finally sing the song live. We were supposed to have performed it live originally for JFCA before my show hours got cut. So I'm glad we managed to sing it. Next time I promise to be more prepared for it. It's just we were both just like scrambling so much for this show. We're just like, ah! So it's like next time we're gonna be ready. We'll be ready. We're gonna make everyone cry. Yeah. Although I don't know if we actually make people cry or not. It's hard to tell with this audience. Either way, I love that I got to sing it. What else was I say? Regarding, I guess. Oh yeah, I guess now we're entering the parts, or the maybe not so great parts of the weekend. I just want you all to know, like, the experience overall for me in the moment was very bittersweet. That's just because I have my neurodivergence causes delays in recognizing my emotions. Don't worry, I messed up it too. I'm so happy I had a fun time singing it with you. Yeah, I'm glad I had so much fun singing with you too. And I was just like, oh, this is hitting the feels in the way I wanted it to. And in that moment, I'm just like, I don't care about any of the mistakes I made prior to this. This is worth it. It's worth it for this. So yeah, I think performing with my friends was definitely a highlight. It was definitely the highlight for me. Now I guess to the more the more introspective part of the weekend for me. For all the good there was, and there was a lot of good. Like, I got approached after my concert as well, just to be told like, oh, you did great, or it's nice to see you again. It's just that I didn't realize how bad my imposter syndrome got until this weekend. And I think part of it is because I had much more stark reminders of who I used to be. Because AniRevo was how I got my start as a solo artist. Like, I had been doing competitions in Vancouver prior to that, since I think 2007, 2008. And I lost horribly the first year. I was not a good singer, nor did I have great breath control. But that was the first time I met Jeremy. And that was with Anime Evolution, which is like the same level of seniority as Anime North. Like, they were part of like the big four. It's I think it was Anime Evolution, Otafest, Anime North, and Otakuthon. Those are like the four original giants. Anime Evolution used to be one of them. AniRevo was born from a desire to try and do something different than an organization that seemed to kind of be stuck in their old ways. I worked for both organizations, and they each have their own strengths and weaknesses. Anime Evolution is a charity organization, technically. Like, they have a registered charitable number and everything, so their budgets are often a lot more limited than AniRevo's. AniRevo is a for-profit organization, so they have a little more flexibility with how they use their money. But yeah, it was, I think, just being reminded of everything. And Jeremy and I were talking a lot about, and Yumemi was there too, where like we were talking about what the differences in attitudes between idols in Vancouver and it was idols in British Columbia and I think Alberta, because that's where Otafest is. So right now, I started out in BC, so like I know the Vancouver scene the most. People don't believe me when I tell them I started the same generation as Non-Sweet because of how slow my own progress has been, but like, I'm from that generation. So I didn't know how much it had changed in recent years, but like, Vancouver, I'm just gonna call you out right now. Don't do death threats. What's wrong with y'all? Like, my gosh. Don't do death threats. If you have to leave comments on the videos of Ontario idols to say that they are not valid, just because they're not from the same province as you need to do your own work. Like, you got some demons within you to figure out, because that's not okay. Don't do that. I had never been more disappointed in my hometown than in that moment when I found out what had happened. So yeah, that's a big yeah. I'm just like, excuse me, don't threaten people. Don't threaten people. Just be respectful. The stage is meant to be shared. Let's share it. And like and BC folks, I know y'all. Just because y'all think you have high standards doesn't necessarily mean you always meet them, okay? Like, humble yourselves a little. Source, trust me, bro. I got humbled so much when I moved to Toronto. Cause just moving here made me realize, oh, I'm nothing. I am literally no one. I don't know anything. And all of the hubris I had as a young idol just went down the drain. Kai Dash was the first one to like give me the wake up call. He's just like, you're not that special. And he apologized for saying it so harsh. I was like, no. You had to say it that harsh. Cause I don't think I would have listened to you otherwise. So even to this day, I'm very thankful for it. Yeah, where is the power of friendship? We're trying to be cute idols. I agree. We're trying to be cute. We're trying to be inspiring. We are role models. To idolize someone means to look up to someone as a role model. This isn't very role model behavior, guys. Just don't. Please don't. Like, you're embarrassing us. You're embarrassing me. I don't know how much that means to you, but like to me at least, you're embarrassing me. If somebody asks me where you're from, I'm gonna tell them I'm from Toronto. I'm not gonna tell them I started out in Vancouver, because then people are thinking, oh, you're a little ooh. So I'm just like, no. I'm old Vancouver. Anyway, that was disappointing to hear, but you know, it happened. Hopefully, it gets better. I try to show grace most of the time with this kind of stuff, but like the moment you start like putting death threats out there, I'm sorry, that's such cowardly behavior. It goes against everything I believe in. So that's why I'm just like, no, like y'all's passive aggression is showing. Sorry, I'm really putting my hometown's feet to the fire, and I'll stop it here. I just wanted to get that out of the way because that was something that did genuinely bother me once I found out. Cause I haven't been following. It's not my area anymore. I follow. I think at most I follow Non-Sweet, because you know, like I started around the same time as them, so I like seeing them succeed, so that's why I follow their work. But yeah, it was just really disappointing to hear that like that's just like the status quo there, and I'm just like, that's not okay. Don't do that. Just because you lost one opportunity doesn't mean you don't have another one coming up. That's scarcity mindset. You guys can do better than that. If you guys are really that good, then you wouldn't be worrying about your next performance. Just saying. Okay, sorry, that's the last bit of snark from me. Let's see. I guess while we're on snark. Not really snark. It's more towards me. I have been struggling, as I said earlier, to just adjust to life as a performer in the wheelchair. The hardest part I've realized is first impressions. Be it my own concert or be it during like even vocal masters, it wasn't until the people I know from dance cover show, like the dance idols, recognized me. That's when like the vibe shifted a bit, because they're just like, oh no, wait, we know you, like you're the MC and you're the one who's always checking in on us backstage. And I was like, oh yeah, like I've been with you guys since 2017. It's just that like somewhere along the way I had to switch from a cane to a wheelchair, and so after that they were very sweet. But like before they recognized who I was, snark. Shishi, Yuna-chan. Shishi. I could tell that when I was like just giving etiquette feedback during sound check, that I was not being taken seriously. It's not the first time it's happened either. Even during DCS, for the last 2 years, like when I had my role later as well, the number of performers who judge me just from the fact that I'm in a wheelchair or in a mobility device. It's like, this is a dance competition. Like, what are you doing here? Like, why should I listen to you? Kind of a thing. Most of the time, not all the time. Once I get up on stage and like do MC crowd work, that's when the vibe will usually shift. But, you know, like, leading up to the point of like proving what I can do, it's always the most demoralizing for me, because there's nothing that I can say. There's nothing that I can there's no way I can try and word my speech that would make me more that would make them change their mind. And so almost by default, I suddenly become super self-conscious of myself, and my usual chutzpah is just like gone. I dissociate, and so I become just like a fraction of who I usually am, which isn't what you want when you're a performer. You want to be putting in 110 to 120%, if not more. So I think as great as the feedback I got from the audience and my colleagues are and my friends are, I can't say I'm proud of my performances, because I know that that's not my full potential. And that's something that I had to really sit with at after Vocal Masters, because I'm not like Heather and Yuma-chan, where like I'm not a technique judge. I'm a performance judge. And I was brought in specifically for performance and experience. That's why Jeremy brought me in. I don't think the contestants were expecting it. Pair it with the fact that I am in a wheelchair and having to use a cane or sit while I perform. How do I prove that I'm meant to be there, right? But I mentioned I was wailing about it to my friends earlier today, and both she and Trains were like, the fact of the matter is you're still there. They don't need to know how you got there or why you're there or whether you should be there or not. The fact of the matter is you're already there. So they're gonna have to deal with it. It made me realize, like, oh, am I still trying to make myself small to make other people comfortable? And that's when it clicked, I think. Like after hearing their feedback and then actually like forcing my butt to go out and actually like go to the post office and go to a cafe to do divination work. Those who don't know, I have been reading tarot cards for like 20 years. So how I keep myself grounded and how I keep myself in check and take care of myself is with reading tarot cards on a semi-regular basis. I have been slacking for the past few months because of just how difficult it was to face my emotions. But after AniRevo, it made me realize, like, oh, I really need to figure out what this is. So first of all, I ended up like just abruptly leaving. Yuma-chan, I'm so sorry to you as well, but I also ended up apologizing to Jeremy as well. I said I was gonna stay for the closing ceremonies, and then as soon as I left the main stage area, I was like, oh, I'm not okay. I don't think I can do this. So without much notice, I had to just like abruptly leave. So I'm still really sorry about that, and that was, I think, what made me want to finally face this thing head on. I'm just like, really, I'm gonna keep isolating myself. I'm gonna keep being the loner just because I feel terrible after like my ego takes a hit for reasons that I still don't understand. Like, no, that's not okay. It's not worth messing up my relationships over. It's not worth losing the stage over. So I did divination this morning, and I did 2 different spreads specifically for imposter syndrome. And as I read more into it, it explained, it's like, no, imposter syndrome is kind of a byproduct of PTSD, because what especially complex PTSD will do, which is what I have, is it's just several experiences just compounding the same maladaptive beliefs. It's compounding all the negativity, because it's once you experience it in like early on in your life, that mindset just propels you in that direction until you put in the effort to actually switch the tracks and change direction. So the last like 10-15 years I've been doing that. I also didn't stay for closing either. I got hungry, so I had to go as well. Okay, that's good. Did you have salmon? I hope you had salmon. You deserve salmon that day. You worked really hard that weekend. You deserve salmon. I hope you had salmon. Also, I forgot to ask if you like the matcha from Found Cafe, because I haven't tried their matcha. They're mostly known for their espresso. Found Cafe is a Australian-based cafe in Toronto, and they finally opened a location at the convention center. So I was like, oh, that's cool. But yeah, I had to face my emotions this morning, and I came to realize two things. One is that there's still quite a bit of internalized ableism left in me. I mean, in all fairness, it's only been, I think, 6 months, maybe less than that, since I had to start using the wheelchair. And I haven't really had a chance to breathe in between performances either. With performances like HalCon, that was done remotely, so that wasn't a huge concern for me. I didn't need to worry about whether I was like taking up space that people didn't want me around for or whatnot. But also I'd mentioned earlier with Vancouver, like how I was disappointed with the behavior that's happening there. It didn't involve death threats, but like it wasn't that surprising to hear that kind of behavior happening, because I was also subject to that too, right? When I was an idol. I'm not gonna get into it. It's not even worth it. Like that's how poo-poo it is. But like, long story short, I just I realized I had to rewire a lot of things about how I view myself without the ability to jump off stage, because that is something that I used to do. Yeah, ramen. Oh, did you? Oh, right, you guys had the discount because of the pass. I was lucky because the area Celine suggested. I chose the restaurant. We got the yeah. Let's go. Those ramen spots are really good too. They have locations in Vancouver as well. That's how they got the partnerships. I'm just like, oh, I know these places. They're really good. It's just yeah, I was just like, it's a little bit out of my budget even after the discount, but you know, if you can go, 100% go. It's worth it. Absolutely, 100%. So I'm glad you had ramen. Nice and cozy for this weather too. It's nice soup weather. We had a rainstorm on day 3. I'll get back to divination and chapter 3 stuff after this, but like so what had happened was I usually take Wheel-Trans in. For those of you who don't know what Wheel-Trans is, it is a accessibility service with the public transit system here in Toronto, where you have to like book it minimum 4 hours in advance, and usually it's like a special bus that comes and picks you up and takes you to your location. What the way that they do their routes is like they'll organize the bookings in a way where like, oh, as somebody is going to their destination or as the driver is going to pick someone up, they're also going to drop someone off at like at a stop along the way, kind of a thing. Saturday was no issue. I appreciated the Saturday Wheel-Trans because the driver was an anime fan too, so we got to talk about Naruto and Attack on Titan, you know, while he was driving me downtown, driving me to the convention center. But Sunday, because I forgot that the Santa Claus parade was happening that day, so every possible route into my neighborhood got blocked off. So the bus just couldn't come. And for some reason, driver control decided not to contact me about it until 2 hours later. Which was like, basically, I tried waiting for 30 minutes, realized the map didn't make any sense, so I was like, screw it, I don't care if I get another, like, because you get a penalty basically if you're a no-show or if you cancel last minute. I was like, I don't care if I get another penalty. I can't afford to like miss the convention just because I'm waiting for a bus that will probably never show up. I'm just gonna go. So I went. I don't like taking conventional transit on weekends. especially during holidays, because there's a lot of children, and children don't really understand boundaries quite yet, and so like the number of times like toddlers will either touch or kick my wheelchair because I have to share the accessibility space with the strollers as well. And like this is, if it's like one kid, it's like usually the parents are able to like keep them company, but we're talking about families of like 5. There are like 5 kids all under the age of 6, all just running around, and like one of them is like a toddler, is like kicking flailing their limbs around, and like he kept kicking my chair and stuff like that. So I don't usually like taking conventional transit on weekends and holidays, but I was desperate. I had to get there on time, so I just jumped on the next one. I was very lucky that TTC supervisor was on that train, just like doing I guess like testing and whatnot with the driver, so she was the one that let me on and off, so that was pretty smooth. But like sometimes some operators like you could tell they don't really want to do it either, so it's a little bit hard that way too. If I were their parent, I would make them apologize. I know you, Yuma-chan, but like it was like, oh, I think they ended up apologizing to me instead, and I'm just like, it's okay. You should really be teaching your kid that instead. But yeah, children need to learn. Yeah, you're right, Yuma-chan. You're right. You're a lot better with kids than I am. Gosh, I'm still remembering like you're telling about your baby cousin too. I was like, that's so cute. Public shame? Public shame? No. I oftentimes what will happen is like when as soon as I say, oh, excuse me, the kid will notice that there's a human attached to the chair, and then they just freeze, and they're giving me like the widest eyes. Yeah, that's how they learn social skills. Yeah, no, so if it's with me, like I know some folks with disabilities and like mobility devices, they're not good with children, and so like they won't handle it very well. But for me, I'm just like, I like kids. Generally, I like kids. They're chaotic sometimes, but I do like kids. I'm just like, excuse me, you don't do that. Don't touch, please. And like I feel so bad sometimes because I realize my face and my voice don't always match. Also, I have very curly hair in real life too, so some kids are not used to seeing an Asian guy with curly hair talking like, excuse me, so they're just like frozen, they're just staring with like their mouth wide open. The parents are just like, say excuse me, and then they still don't say anything because they're just terrified. I was like, it's okay, just just don't do it again, that's all. It's better to have them learn now than when they're older. It's true, that's very true. As a kid who learned manners earlier and had to watch other kids learn their manners much later on in life, it's so frustrating. I'm just like, you just acting like very, very rude, but I have to sit like an angel because my parents told me to. Like, you suck. So yeah, I agree. And also they would end up struggling a lot more later on because you're right. It's much easier to have them learn while they're younger, while their brains are still developing, and before it hardens into place. Because as soon as it hardens into place, that's when things get really hard. Sorry, stress me, bro. Anyway, I know it's uncomfortable to discipline children, but it's for the betterment of the future too. Yeah, I agree. I'm like that with idols as well, like the younger idols that come through. I feel like I'm a little, I will say, I think I'm a little bit harder on the newer idols coming in than I am of children. Children, I'm just like, if I just say excuse me and show by example, over time they'll figure it out. But when you're in performance spaces, there tend to be like there is a level of ego as well. Like everyone will have it. That's the reason why we're all performing, right? Is because we want to share what we like and what we feel. That we can't be performers without our egos, and I'm saying that as a positive thing. It's just sometimes that like if we have any insecurities, the ego will show those insecurities, and so that's when I'm just like, guys, come on. It's just, some things are just like a little bit common sense, guys. Like, I understand the lights are a little bit like in your face, but like it's a courtesy thing, right? Is don't take up another person's time for something that you can do yourself, kind of a thing. But also, just I realized afterwards, because this did kind of happen during soundcheck, where 3 or 4 singers in succession were just like, "Can you adjust this thing with my song? Can you adjust this thing with my song?" And I'm just like, guys, and Yuma-chan had to be like, "Senpai, no, it's okay, it's okay. They're newbies. It's okay. Like they're new to this. It's okay." I'm just like, guys. Anyway, I realized I had to think about it after. It's like, you know what? Like looking at it from Yuma-chan's perspective and their perspective, I'm just like, yeah, I guess like. If it's your first time on stage, you would be really nervous, and so like you're not really paying attention, you don't know what you're allowed to do, especially if you're not used to advocating for yourself. Because I think there were a few singers for sure who are still learning how to advocate for themselves from when I was giving them their feedback. It's gonna be extra hard. Yeah, over half of them was their first time on stage. First time, really? Wait, so was it only the DCS folks that it wasn't their first time? Really? That is insane. Because you guys need to understand, if you weren't there for Vocal Masters, everyone chose really hard songs. Like there were two auto songs, like one Phantom Shita and one actual auto song, and then there was an Omoi no Take song. There was the Gachi Akuta opening, and then there was the Wuthering Waves song. Oh gosh, there were like a handful of someone was going to sing "You" by Millennium Parade as well, but like they were a no-show. Yeah, I was like, "You're lying, y'all." Yeah, me too. I was talking to, oh gosh, who was? I think it was Mary C. I was talking to Mary, and she sang an auto song. I was like, "You're already an active idol, right?" She's like, "No, this is my first time." I'm just like, "Your stage presence is insane. Like, you're good." It's just my only feedback was just that the song was too high for your range. And then I think she mentioned that like she talked to you about this as well, where like she sounded fine, she could hit the notes during practice and like when she wasn't on top of the stage, but as soon as she got on stage, she suddenly couldn't hit the notes. And she's like, I don't know what happened. And I said to her, I was like, "Oh no, that's just nerves." You're just nervous. And something that I think a lot of us forget is that whatever we experience in practice, we can only expect 75% of that to make it to the stage, which is why you get into the habit of over practicing. So that's why I knew like I did not practice enough leading up to my concert, because I knew like I could barely remember the lyrics, my own lyrics that I wrote last year. I could barely remember them, and I had like an hour's worth set to learn. It's even harder when you're in a competitive setting and you only have that one chance. Now that's extra pressure, and now you're also getting judged not by opinion but by technique and skills and ability. So that's also more pressure. And so like competitive circuits tend to have poorer performances than non-competitive performances because of the nerves. And I think, yeah, I had to just say, it's like, if you really want to hit that level of 100%, then you need to practice 175%. But I told her the same with recording. Was yeah, practicing is great, but when I step into the closet, I can't do it. Me too. I've been doing this for 15 years and I still can't do it. The number of times, the number of times I had to retake my own lines from my own songs. Standing Frozen Revisited took, I think, 2 days to record. Because just like it just would not. Just one way or another, it would not. It just didn't sound right no matter what. Either I was lacking emotionality, I was lacking tone, or like I couldn't. I sang the song in a way that was very difficult to time and tune the vocals, so I'm just like, I might as well just start over. Yeah, it's so annoying. But like, yeah, so I think what I ended up saying was just like, because this is something that I had to learn as well. It's either you get out of the door and get on stage imperfect, or you never leave the house because you're too busy trying to make it perfect. I'll be the first to admit for my own works that the quality of my work has significantly dropped after chapter 1 ended. Because one, I was going through a grieving process. It was a hard time emotionally, but also that level of stress when you've been in codependency for that long, it's a shock to the system. And so physically I was also lacking a lot of stamina, and also that's when my eating disorder relapsed as well. I really wanted to drive home body over. I think what ended up happening when I gave critique, because like Heather and Yuma-chan had the technique critique down. They're much more familiar with how that works than I am. The only thing I could offer, they would ask questions like, how do I not tense up when I'm on stage, or how do I learn to belt? The answer so much of the time was just listen to your body, or like test things out with your body and see how it feels. Because once you understand a baseline of that, that's when you can start looking at techniques and see what applies to you. Because if you don't even have the base understanding of how your cells move, then there's not much you can do with the critique, because you don't even have a reference point. Like, or what do they mean by like send the voice to the back, or elongate the note, or breathe from the diaphragm? You won't know that unless you feel in your body where that is. So that ended up being a lot of the critique that I gave out. And then the imposter syndrome came in. It's just like, oh, that's all you can do. Like that's all you can provide. Wow, you really disappointed them. Good job, LT. And that's when I was like, oh, this is bad. You know what? The other judges are better at this than I am. I'm just gonna leave now. And so, and also they said they wanted to clear the room out for closing ceremonies anyway. I was like, you know what, I guess this is a good time to just like head out. So I said goodbye to Jeremy a little bit. I said I was gonna come back for closing ceremonies. I did not. And yeah, I think that's when I had hit my personal breaking point. It took a day and a half of introspection and like trying to be kind to myself, and like asking for help from my friends for words of affirmation, to be like, I did what I felt was helpful, right? And yeah, it might not be helpful to them depending on where along their journey they are. I simply answered in the ways that worked for me. So for those who don't know, like, I've had 2 different vocal coaches at different points in my life. Both situations, I lost my color. Like, sure, my technique kind of improved, but the way that I was being taught, it was so traditional. It wasn't designed for people with my voice. And also, it wasn't designed for folk singers. It was designed for classical singers, or choir singers, or pop singers. Folk singers have a different criteria, and I'm a folk singer, even though I didn't exactly choose folk songs to sing for my showcase. I chose a rock song, but folk singers require emotion more than they require technique, and I think that's the reason why I was looking more at performance. So from my perspective, I'm just like, you know what, this is the best that I could provide them. It's up to them to decide whether they can take it or leave it. And so I've slowly worked towards accepting that part of myself. But now, I can talk about pre-chapter 3 debut things. Oh, it's hard when the mindset really weighs you down, because it's always nice to chat with the singers, and that's how I got to know their experience with singing. Yeah. Except, see, Yuma-chan, you're very approachable. That's a good thing. I realized I'm not very approachable. Even when I try to make myself smaller, I'm still not very approachable. I'm not approachable for a different reason now. I'm not approachable now because people don't take me seriously. But you have just the right balance of, like, you're confident with yourself, and you also know what you're talking about, and you're super chill. So you have that perfect balance of naturally getting the experiences and feedback out from them. Whereas with me, I just literally said hi, and then they're just like, okay, I'm ready for feedback. I was like, okay, give me a second. Let me just find your page first. I was like, oh, okay, I'm so sorry. Give me a second. And then I would get the feedback, and then I always want to hear the people I give feedback to have a banter with me. That's my expectation. But it's been pointed out to me recently by friends that most people will not think that way, and in fact most people will be scared off by it, and I kind of got a reminder of that when I was giving the feedback as a judge too. I'm just like, oh, it's happening again. I didn't mean to do that. I'm sorry. Anyway, I did my best. They did their best. We all did our best. They took away what they needed to take away. That's all I could ask for. But yeah, overall, everyone was great. Everyone was fantastic. It was really nostalgic to be the one announcing the winners this time instead of being like in the lineup of finalists, me like, oh, am I gonna be the one getting the prize or not? Fun fact, I decided to cry. I somehow, for some reason, just broke down crying when I won first place at AniRevo Idol in 2013. Jeremy always brings it up. I'm just like, Jeremy, please. I don't know what came over me that day. I don't know. I just got really emotional for some reason. But yeah, I wonder how you can get away from imposter syndrome once you feel it. Is there a perspective you can click into? I thought I could focus on gratitude because that's what I've been taught. But I think for me, and this is going to be different from person to person because there's different types of imposter syndrome too, right? Mine, I think, is between the perfectionist and the expert. I forget that I've been doing this for 15, 20 years. Like, my brain, for some reason, is still stuck in 2015. And I was like, oh yeah, no, I'm still new to this. I was like, no, LT, you've been doing this for a long time. You're 32 now. You weren't even 20 when you started. That was me too. I tried to ask them questions or the prep to make banter. Yeah, but you're so good with the banter because you know when to be silly. You're very good at levity. I need to work on my levity a bit more. I'm slowly improving. I am working on it, but yeah, that was just like the moment where I'm just like, oh my gosh, I didn't learn it enough. But yeah, I think for someone who is under the expert category of imposter syndrome, I have to remember that even learning to, like, me having become disabled is also part of that experience. I was talking to Natty, one of the dancers for Wonder Street. They were she was part of the flyer group. So she has some hypermobility as well. So one of the discussions we had was like, what is a performer's kind of like, not an expiration date, but like, when does a performer suddenly lose the ability to do what they used to do, right? And that's gonna be different from person to person. For people who have genetic inclinations or who have had really intense training like ballet, I think there's quite a few DCS folks who have ballet training. I'm most worried about the ballet folks because the way that they were trained is so toxic and so harmful to both the body and self-image that I have to remind them, is like, perfect will only work for you if you don't get hurt. But right now you're really, really close to getting hurt. That makes more sense when it comes to the perfectionist tendencies I personally don't have unless it's recording and I don't like this. I think a healthy dose of perfection is okay. It's when the perfection stops the project from getting released. That's when it's a problem. And I've had that happen to myself as well. The other keeper from chapter 1 also had that problem, which is why mixes took so long. And then of course near the end they basically just gave up on it, but that's you know what? That's burnout for you. For me, I think for perfectionist tendencies, remember that like I said earlier to Mary Sia as well, would you rather be on stage imperfect, or would you rather miss the opportunity altogether because you were too busy trying to be perfect and then you got sick, or you lost track of time, or something happened, right? I think that's kind of what happened with a few of the Vocal Masters competitors, if I'm being really honest. Judging by the song choices, I feel like a lot of them might have practiced too hard. And so in their pursuit of trying to be perfect, they missed the opportunity altogether, right? I love the imperfections and rawness of live. Yeah, me too. I also don't think I'm the greatest performer either, but I don't think I really have gotten imposter syndrome. I don't think you'll get imposter syndrome because you had a secure upbringing. Be blessed. You're very you're very, very blessed. For context, I got perfectionist. I got my imposter syndrome mostly from This is not to throw shade on them. Like, I understand my parents were young and they're also human and they're not perfect either. But my it was a very black and white household. It was either you were perfect professional level or you shouldn't even try. And my parents believed, oh, you shouldn't even try. Why are you wasting your time on this? You're not that good. And so when let me rub that on you. You want me to experience security too? Thank you. I'm learning a lot from you, actually. I will say you are doing a good job of rubbing it off on me. I don't think I would have. I'll be really honest with you. If it wasn't for you there, I think I would have just left the vocal master's room. I don't know, or like I would have broken down in the moment right there. I don't think I would have been able to handle it on my own because it's. I think the only thing that's helping me right now, and the tarot cards did confirm this as well. I only, like, if I can't trust my own judgment, I have to trust the judgment of those that I trust. You know what I'm saying? Like, my brain is gonna be lying to me for the next little while. That's just the reality of it. And it's gonna be even worse during moments of weakness when my anxiety will like starve me for like a whole day, or when I'm gonna be like feeling it like, oh, I don't belong here a lot. So that's when, like, for instance, like Ima-chan, when you were there, you're just like, oh my god, Platinum is my favorite song, and it's like that alone. I'm just like, oh, I'm safe. I'm safe. Why am I worrying? What am I worrying about? This is fine. I'm with the, yeah, I'm with safe people, and it's the same when like I got really ill, on Saturday as well. Like, I was very lucky that my friends were there. They're just like, when's the last time you ate? Did you eat yet? I was like, no. And they're like, oh, okay, yeah, no, you need to eat. So yeah, there's that. Yeah, you see now that, yeah. So it's about rewiring, because there's our spirits. Our spirits are the ones that want to change, that have ambitions, that have these images of ourselves that we want to become. Then there's the biology. The biology is programmable. That's the reassuring part. There are ways to reprogram the body. If the spirit is determined enough, then the body can be reprogrammed. That's what I learned. So I think I was telling Trains the other day, is like, you and she and Itsuki and Pai, you all say that like I'm the strongest person you guys know, but like I don't think you guys realize this is just me being desperate. I'm just really desperate because I know what I want. I know what my ambitions are, and my ambitions involve interacting with good people. And so I just get desperate enough to want to be with good people, and I guess that really is bravery at the end of the day. At the end of the day, courage is like, how badly do you want this? How badly do you want to change? How badly do you want this thing that you know is good for you, but you're just scared that maybe you're not worth it? How badly do you want it? How badly do you want to say F you to the voices of doubt and just like go for it anyway? I think at the end of the day, that's courage. The determination and chutzpah and desperation to I understand now. Okay, yeah, I understand now. I had to talk myself through that. So yeah, there was that. But ultimately ended up working out. I think I learned the hard way that my ears are not okay anymore, or at least with resonance spaces like stages. I noticed that certain harmonics and tones will cancel out in my ears, and so it sounds like someone's out of pitch to me, but they're not. And like I realized, especially while we were like comparing notes, I'm just like, now that I think about it, yeah, technique wise that was perfectly fine, but for some reason in my ear it sounded dissonant for some reason. And I was looking back on it, I was like, when's the last time this happened? Oh yeah, this happened at JFCA too. That's the reason why I could barely hear myself. And it's also the reason why I like my voice just disappears into like I think Heather mentioned that she has the same issue too, where like at some point, look forward to aging, y'all. You lose the ability to hear certain frequencies, especially harmonics. For huskier tones like mine, we have a lot of harmonics. So if you take out, say, like 2 or 3 of those harmonics, all of a sudden it sounds like you're singing a completely different tone, even though physically you are hitting that note. So yeah, stuff like that. Haru was telling us about his time with therapy. Oh shoot, he wants to become a certain person, like a leader who makes decisions, more charismatic, etc. So the choices we make should reflect on becoming the person we wish to be. Yes, that is correct. Y'all think I say have a brave day and like I'm just like fearless? No, I am also trying to have a brave day. That's why I made that line. I made it for myself. I made that tagline for myself. I just decided that it's probably beneficial if I share it, because when I first shared it on Twitter, long before I debuted it as a VTuber, when I was still a Yutaite, there were some folks who said, have a brave day back to me. They returned it to me. And so when Astral Mile came to debut in 2020, 2021, I wanted that to carry over. And so it's been with me since. So when I say have a brave day, just be, reassured. I'm trying my best too, guys. I really am. It's hard for me too, but it's because I know that this type of hard is worth it. I know that this is the price I have to pay to get to where I want to be. That's what bravery is to me. So that's why I think, yeah, we trying to do things we might be afraid of, or choices not following the rest of the group, but it's because we want to. Exactly. Speaking of which, that's a good segue. Thank you, Uniten. About the wheelchair, I realized part of the reason why I don't get as many performances is because people they judge me by my wheelchair. And unfortunately, when you judge me by my wheelchair first, that's gonna that's when the imposter syndrome is gonna kick in, etc., etc. I decided that for the foreseeable future, just until people recognize the name a bit more, I'm probably gonna try and do shadow concerts more, or virtual concerts more, where I don't have to necessarily show my form. And like the focus can be on the music videos or on dancers. I'd really like to work with dancers again. I really enjoyed the DCS collaboration show for JFCA. Like, that was really fun. It was rushed as heck. I wish we had more time to prepare, but it was fun. I would like to do a much more prepared version of that with my own music instead of just cover songs. So the plan for Chapter 3 is to actually start a multimedia project, similar to like Kagero project. But this time the lore is that I am simply the one telling the stories of 5 characters. So the first half of the project will have 5 songs featuring and introducing these characters. And then the second half of the project will be how these characters help each other move forward, and how they inspire courage in each other to face the day. The idea is that every chapter is a different cast. My personal dream one day is for a future chapter to be an idol troupe, or a show troupe, where they will be singing their own songs and I just write and produce for them one day. But for now, I'm focusing it on as a multimedia project, because that's something that I can do for the most part on my own, and as for collaborations once in a while. You could be like Sia. Oh yeah, the singer have the dancers up front and have the ambient art there. Yeah, that would be nice. Oh, that would be really nice. That way I can just focus on just like being the sound, and then everybody else is too busy looking at the dancers, and then finally work on that original song we've been trying to work on together for like the last 2 years. So yeah, that's the thing. I realized during the weekend, my proudest moment was actually when Yuma-chan was singing Azayaka na Sora. That was that was the moment that made me go like, oh yeah, this is why I'm here. Because for those who don't know, I wrote the Japanese trans lyrics for that song. So I took Yumemi's original English lyrics and I made them singable in Japanese. And that was the moment that made me go like, yeah, that's me. That's what I want to do. Oh, I'm more songwriter than singer-songwriter. So yeah, it made me realize I think it's time for me to finally become rather than a yutaite, to be a Vocaloid producer, or a producer at least. So that's the goal, that's the plan moving forward, which is, it works out because I don't have anything confirmed for the upcoming months, unless something changes, in which case, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But for the time being, I think in order to make a compromise between what I am able to do and what every audience and showrunner is expecting from a performer, the only middle ground I can provide is that I produce my own show and I just present it to them. That's all I can do. Because if I try to do things traditionally like I did for the last 15 or so years, not only do I burn myself out, but I don't get taken seriously either. There are a lot of times where I get disrespected as well, just because some folks, I won't say who, but some folks are a little too judgmental, and love to make assumptions, and those assumptions dictate how they talk to me, and I don't appreciate that. So if I have to prove myself, so be it. I'll do it this way. It's much easier. The irony is that it's at this point in my career, it is much easier to make a statement when no one can see what I look like than if I were to show my face, which is a very strange situation to be in, because I grew up in the generation where we had to show our faces to be considered credible. So yeah, those are the plans for chapter 3. I'm hoping to have voice dramas as well with voice actors, but I'd have to see how my budget goes for that, because I would like to pay people that I collaborate with. Same with the dancers. I'm just like, I'd like to be able to compensate them if I ever do the live shows for them. So I'm hoping you all support the project when it comes out, so that the album will do well, and so I can use the album and merch sales to then pay the talents to work with me. That would be really great. So yeah, everything else you guys don't really need to know. It was hard for my own reasons. One of them, being the fact that I ended up on Front Street with the wind blowing in the opposite direction of where I am supposed to go, and so I was fighting against the wind and the rain while trying to wheel myself forward with like hydroplaning. So because it was raining really badly, so I'm just like, oh, my wheels are gripping very quickly. Like, it's very slippery. So it's like, that's not good. But I made it. I survived. It was very spooky, but I survived. I was very proud of myself. So yeah, and I was a little bit late to Vocal Masters as a result, but it worked out, because I think we ran behind schedule anyway because of the previous panel. So yeah. How'd you guys do? Those who were at AniRevo, if you wanted to, I don't know, say anything. But Yuma-chan, I feel like you're gonna have your own live stream to talk about your experiences too, so I look forward to that. I can finally catch up on my friend's stuff. Yo, I'm so glad. Everyone was doing everything this month and last month, and I'm just like, I'm too tied up with my own projects to like give my love and affection to my friends' projects, and I'm very proud of them. All I can say is that I'm very proud of them from a distance. But now I can finally catch up on everything. My goodness. Yeah. Anyway. That's it for now. Another thing, another thing I mentioned. I know I said about collaborative ideas and stuff like that, but to be really honest, I think until I find my own swing of things and system again, I will be working alone for the most part. It probably will mean that my projects will be slow for a while, because I do want to go back to focusing on quality. So even if it'll take a while, I'd rather be like Mark Rover and upload like once a month again, like we used to in chapter 1. Yeah, that happens. I was asleep most of the time when everyone was awake. Oh no. You know what? That's fair. Yeah, that's what VODs are for. Yeah, I can finally catch up on the VODs. Phoebe also released their anniversary compilation album. Go check it out. And I believe, yeah, for Pam, I had promoted her Christmas VTuber concert for next month, which she's in the process of organizing. Yuma-chan, you got anything going on? Not that I feel like me promoting it for you will really help, but, you know, it's worth mentioning, I guess. Tell as many people. Otherwise, just, I don't know. It's the holidays. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas for most of you. Or Happy Hanukkah, or in my case, Happy Yule. Have a Merry Yule. Take care of each other. Share food. Yeah. Okay. How are we doing for time? Oh yes, your 2.0 debut! I know May is still quite a ways. Actually, no, it's not. It's only a few months out. December, we're going to December now, so January, February, March, April, May. That's fine. Oh, that's 6 months. It's time. Oh, I'm so proud. I'm so happy you get to finally debut it. I got a sneak preview, so I can't wait for you guys to see it. The sign cover, yes. Yuma-chan released the new cover of MS Sign. It's really, really good. Go listen. Go listen. It's really, really good. Your mixing skills are improving as well. Yo, you're gonna be so powerful in just like a few years time. You're gonna be able to do everything. And then next up is just gonna be learning how to draw and animate music videos specifically. It's your 11th cover, really? Yo, that's dedication. It's okay. I think chapter 1 was like that with USB for a while. We did a lot of USB songs in the beginning, and then we're just like, no, we can't keep doing this. They're releasing official English covers now, so we're just like, yeah, okay. No, be proud of the fact that you're representing your favorite. For me, I would like it if it was Jin, because I am a big fan of Jin, or Shisen no Tekipi, but his songs are really hard to sing. So I don't sing them often. See, this is all the talents I have. It's okay. If you're desperate enough, you can do it all. See, you're slowly getting to the jack of all trades route too. She has started singing more, so you know, just saying. This is oh, you guys are making me blush. Okay, we're gonna end stream there then. No, seriously, for real. Also, my Wi-Fi is struggling a little bit, so I guess now is a good time to call it. Thank you so much for hanging out with me and for chatting with me and hearing me ramble. I really appreciate it. If you were coming in from AniRevo and this is your first stream, first of all, welcome to Astral Mile. And second, I hope you had fun. I hope you enjoyed. But yeah, thanks so much for singing. Bye. Have a brave night, everybody, and rest well. Otsukare. Ja ne. Thank you for singing. Bye.